Knock, knock. Anybody there? Yeah, I can see you. How about a little walk and talk? Come with me. I'm really enjoying this walk so far. Are you? I hope you are. It's a beautiful day. Grayish, but still beautiful. And the ground is covered in snow and ice as well. So I'll probably be looking at my feet quite a bit, which I apologize for. But safety first. And the air, woo, it's so fresh. Look at this beauty. Look at this. So quiet, except for the airplane overhead. Always an airplane, but somebody has to go somewhere. So, what's on my mind today as I'm walking? You know, I often get asked why I don't have children, even more often than I'm asked why I'm not married. Believe it or not, people ask that a lot. And the truth is, as much as I love kids, and I really do, babies, you know, preteens, uh, teens, all of them, I really love them, but I also would love to give them back to their parents. And I make no apology for that. I mean, not all of us are meant to have kids. Some of us do want to have them, and in some instances, you really want to have them and you can't have them, which is absolutely heartbreaking. And I feel for everybody who's been in that situation. And sometimes you just don't want to have them, and that's me. And I've known for a long time, actually. It's not even because of endometriosis, because I knew even before I was diagnosed. And I don't know if you remember, if you've watched my video on endometriosis, but a lot of women actually find out that they have endometriosis when they're experiencing difficulty um, getting pregnant. And so this could have been my path. Had I wanted to have kids, I could have been, trying for a while and then not understanding why I couldn't. And maybe that's how I would have found out that I had endometriosis. For some women, endometriosis actually uh, is a um, ends up being the reason why they don't have kids. And again, I feel for these women as well. So it's not my case. It wasn't because of that, or I knew that before I I even knew what endometriosis was. I just never had that um, yearning. I mean, I played with dolls and baby dolls, uh, and I enjoyed it. Like, bathing them, pretending that they were, going to sleep and all that, even though their eyes were wide open and all that, feeding them. I enjoyed all of that. But I never, I don't know, it's just I didn't have the yearning of, oh, I'm so eager to grow up so I can have my own. Nah. And I would be talking to my friends and then my cousins, my sister friends, um, and most of them would tell me at some point that it was part of their journey. If nothing else worked, if none of the other things that they wanted in life ended up happening, the one thing that they really wanted to have was a child, at least one child. And you could tell it was uh, like the role they were, one of the roles that they felt that they were born to have. And I simply never had that. And I have to say, when I have amazing parents. And, with the situation that I'm in, and I've been telling you about for the past couple of months, um, one of the hardest things for me has been to know that although I'm going to be my parents' child for the rest of my life, I'm not a child. I'm their child, but I'm not a child. And I haven't been for a while. But knowing that at my age and at their age, they're worried about their child who's on the other side of the ocean, not being able to support herself, um, and provide for herself in a way that she always could, basically, as an adult. That really breaks my heart because they shouldn't be worrying about that anymore if things were the way we think they should be. And they're always telling me, it's our job and we're going to do whatever we can to support you, no matter how old you are. And it doesn't matter. You don't have to feel guilty about anything. And I love them for that, for a lot of other things, but I also love them for that, for being able to say that to me. I still feel guilty though, because I wish they could just enjoy these days in their life without having to worry about me in that way. And it weighs on me. And I don't know. That's also like the lot of parents. Like, you create or you raise those beings, whether you've carried them or not. And then they're your responsibility until the day you die, and then beyond. And that's a lot. I have a lot of admiration. Whew, I cannot even say that word. Admiration for parents, truly, because this is one of the hardest jobs one can ever have. And also one of the most thankless ones, because children are not, don't always show the gratitude. And I know that most parents do the best they can with what they have. And they don't, there's no playbook on how to be a parent. Uh, there's no uh, how to. And every child is different. So even if you've had already like 9 kids, the 10th might need something else than what you've given the other ones. And even beyond that, you as a parent, each one of us as a person, we constantly evolve. Every day we move in one direction and we change as people. And so we are constantly figuring out who we are. So when you're a parent, you're on that journey. You're constantly figuring out who you are, no matter how old you are. If you have a partner, they're also doing that thing. You're also figuring out who they are at every step. Uh, and if you have a child or several children, you have to also constantly figure out who they are at every step. And while those children are also figuring out who they are at the same time, every single day, you're a parent to a new child. Is this new flash? News flash? Maybe it is. I don't think so. Yeah, the child you had yesterday was a day younger than the child that you have today. And it's not the same child. It has a lot of what the child from yesterday had, but maybe there's something new. And, I think about especially parents of teenagers. Do you remember you as a teenager, the emotions, the range of emotions, and the depth of emotions that we used to experience? That was a lot. Every single thing you go through is like, it's just too much. And a lot of the times you feel like life is centered around you and you have no idea what's happening in other people's lives. And it's hard to bring that and to have the language to express that. If you're mad at the world, you're going to oftentimes take it out on the people who love you the most, the people who are in your home, who have nothing to do with why you're mad in the first place. Sometimes they're the reason why you're mad. But if you don't have the language, you don't have the tools, how do you even start that conversation? Do you even think that you can have that conversation? Parents sometimes, I've seen that, and it's not a judgment, because again, I'm not a parent and nobody knows how to really, like, nobody uh has all the answers. Parents sometimes forget what it was like at that age, or sometimes they remember, but because they have the perspective of the years that came after and the fact that there was more to come and wisdom would follow, they expect that wisdom and that perspective to already be in their child, and it's not. That child has no idea what you're talking about. And so you end up speaking two different languages. And sometimes, you know what happens? The best way to get through and to find out what's happening with your child is for that child to speak to another adult who's not you, somebody in your sphere, and who has some shared experiences with you, maybe the same background, maybe the same education, um, but who's not you, and who can see that child not just for their relationship to you or to them, but for the person that they are. And it's been, as someone who doesn't have kids, one of the things that I value the most is being that person for the children in my life. Those who feel comfortable talking to me when they cannot talk to their parents. And even if they don't do it, if they know that they have that option and they're grateful for it or they appreciate it, it means a lot. It's wonderful. And I will never take that for granted. Truly. It's absolutely, I'm sorry, I have to catch my breath at the same time. Because while I'm talking, I'm also walking, and those roads are not always the easiest to, like, with the snow on the ground. You have to kind of navigate and watch every step, and sometimes you're doing some climbing at the same time is not all flat. That's what I'm trying to say. So, what was I saying? Yeah, I love the fact that I can be that person for a lot of the children in my life. And uh, it's a blessing for me, for the parents, and for the child. And, that's why they say that it takes a village, because it truly does. Parenting, growing up, neither of those things are easy. And you need help to figure things out and to figure yourself out, as well as figuring other people out. And so it's just, it's tough. It's tough out there. And I also know a lot of people who feel like it's not right to bring children in the world we live in. I don't know if it was probably true for every generation at some point, that parents would say that they could not imagine, that people would say, not parents, but people would say, I could not imagine bringing a child into this world, because they've been very difficult times throughout history. And so this is not new, but I hear it a lot. And I understand why. My own circumstances, I mean, when I was younger, before I found my self confidence and all that, I know that I I wasn't sure if the reason why I didn't want to have kids was really because I didn't want to have kids, or because I felt like I couldn't be as good a parent as my parents were to me. That may have been part of it. So when I went to therapy after the car accident, I discussed it with my therapist, because I really wanted to find out, and if that was the only reason, maybe I could get rid of it, and then my mind would be changed. But that wasn't the case. I definitely felt some pressure to be, if I ever became a parent, to be, uh, you know, an amazing parent. I know now that I could be, if I would try my best to be, but I don't feel, after I found my self confidence, I knew that I would always do my best by the child, uh, or the children that I would have. So it wasn't that. It just wasn't for me. It's not for everyone, truly. So that's really what I want to say. A lot of the times, people, when they ask you that question and you say to them that you don't want to have kids, they'll tell you that you're going to regret it. They tell you that you don't know what you're missing out. You'll wake up one day and it will be too late, or uh, you're just saying that because it hasn't happened. I could have made it happen if I really want that. I mean, I think so. Um, in terms of, taking steps, even to adopt or something like that. If that was really what was on my mind, I would have created a path for me to be able to make that happen. That simply was never a goal of mine. So I didn't have to put any, I didn't have to put the pieces together to create that path to make it happen. And I'm not gonna say never, right? That's what they say. Never say never. So I'm not gonna say I'm never gonna have regret, but I'm pretty sure I won't regret not having children. I'm going to continue to love on the ones that are in my life, because I love them very, very, very much. Another plane, uh, full of children, probably. There are always kids on the plane. Uh, I'm also going to enjoy the life that I have without children. And yeah, for those people, for those like, I don't know, sometimes people ask and they don't think that it could be a painful subject for someone. I'm here to tell you it can be. For some people, that's a very sore topic. And when you ask, it can open very deep wounds. And so I don't think it's a really appropriate question to ask if the person doesn't bring the topic up, on the table. I don't think it's necessarily a good thing to ask people that. It's really none of your business, even though I just told you all my business, but I'm not everyone. Um, so yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about today. I'm going to continue my walk because I have quite a bit of ways to go, if you can see. And I don't want to keep you too long, even though I appreciate you coming along on my walk. And I am grateful for you being there weekend, 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 week in and week out. I am grateful for all the support that I get. Uh, and I'm looking forward to our next get together like this, or maybe when I'm home. We'll see. In any event, take care of yourselves. Enjoy the outdoors if you can and if you want to. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.